Here comes the intro, and remember, the secret is yes and. Hello, fellow patrons, and welcome to the Neon City Daily. I am co-owner of this fair establishment, Jamicules, and this is...
Niculon.
Followed by...
Yes, and. Did I do that right?
No.
Oh.
You did the yes and wrong.
You said that.
Don't worry.
Oh.
Anyway, how is everybody?
Yeah, good.
I can't be to blame for that. You literally said the
yeah.
secret is yes, and I thought that meant introduce yourself as...
No.
Okay.
No.
I've misunderstood.
You take the concept and you run with it by going like, yes, that is what we're doing, and I'm adding to the concept.
Oh.
What you did was no but me.
Well, I'm Josh.
That's it. Oh, jeez.
Dave's not here.
No, he's very, very deathly ill. Not the COVID,
He got
deathly ill.
He got the black lung pump.
Yeah.
If he was here, he'd be like, I'm still sick.
No, I'm still sick.
Yeah. But, you know, he probably could have come, but he's a bro, so he didn't want to get us.
Yeah, he didn't want us to be all still sick,
Yeah.
which is nice.
I appreciate it.
I'd rather not be also still sick.
So-
He was even going to dial in,
Oh, that's
but
right.
he was too sick for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it.
He
And then I
didn't.
was
He
like,
did
oh.
not want to give our recording the flu.
Yeah. Which is
By
good because I
extension.
didn't set up the software in advance.
Nice.
It wouldn't take long.
Prep work.
Yeah. Wow.
It needs it.
We are renowned
It
for
needs
the
it.
prep work.
So how's everyone's week been?
Oh man, yeah, good. I played a lot of Resident Evil Village.
Yeah. I also played some Resident Evil Village on Friday when we did a
Because
stream.
we did a stream on Friday.
Were you guys playing it on PC?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I've been playing myself at home just on the Xbone, and because I still don't have fucking internet
Right.
because
NBN is still
we
shit show.
basically had a reset
Yeah.
where like I think I talked about last time how they realized that they were checking the wrong house for the line,
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you were put back
and
in.
then they went to put us
queue,
back in
basically.
there, but then it's like they reset back to Shittown last week.
Did they ever leave?
And so we have to go through it all again
What?
for no reason.
But Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, they were going to arrange for a tech to come out.
Yep.
And he
But that didn't happen.
Nope.
Nah.
What is wrong with
Then,
these
when
people?
but listen though, this is the part where, like I said, it just reset to zero because we like had another chat to them again.
And it's like they
And
never
were
knew
like,
anything.
What do you mean? We don't. What do you mean that?
All right, Nick.
So
I have a proposition for you.
Mm.
My current job has ended.
yeah,
I'm on break.
you got a lot of time.
I have time on my hands.
Make him an authorized person on
Yeah,
your
I was
account.
Authorize
thinking
me,
that. Oh.
and I swear to you, I will chase those motherfuckers to the ends of the earth, and
not
I
gonna-
will like doing it.
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as you said my job is ended, I immediately thought he has the time.
I'll do it.
to fucking.
This is not a bit.
Yeah.
I will fucking do it.
I'll talk to the missus.
Okay.
I was working and offered that.
Let's go speak to her after the podcast and say,
Let's bring her in here.
can I please, Teresa, please let me fix this
jeez.
for you,
It's less on her plate to worry about.
Realistically, yeah.
and I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
You would too,
Until the criminal
actually.
charges are laid. And
No.
No, they'll just be like, this fucker won't leave us alone. He won't leave us alone. And I won't.
No. But yeah, so that has like kept me fairly limited. So a lot of Resident Evil Village, which we actually got further than I'd already played when we were streaming,
Yeah, good.
which was good because we just
That's
did
true.
it.
But if memory serves, you walked around aimlessly for a little while.
fucking ages.
Yeah.
Fucking
Because you couldn't work.
Eons.
the point that you revealed to me, like that was where I got,
Was
and I
so
stopped,
dumb.
and I was like, you just had to die.
Yeah, I literally just had to
I mean, it's natural to not want to
Yeah.
die,
Yeah.
even in a video game, I guess.
So
I just like that the whole time you're playing, Jamie was only looking for a prospective new wife.
Yeah, well, they killed my first one.
Yeah.
It's like
they did.
first thing they did is like, all right, well, I'm single, ready to mingle, looking for my daughter, but she's a horror show, so I'm not really looking for her.
And you're right, the amount of hand trauma was
it's
devastating.
constant. Too.
Yeah.
Like that game is all about hand trauma.
But that dude took off, like he lost at the very beginning, like 2 fingers
Yeah,
and
2
a
fingers.
chunk
Yeah.
of hand. And
Yeah.
he's just like, I'll pour some
Like immediately.
Yeah, put some
alcohol on
Gatorade
it.
on it, or
Well,
something.
that was the thing too, like because I had it in my head. I was like, it's like one of the things that's throwing my immersion out of this game is how much he just shrugs shit off.
Yeah.
and just dumps Gatorade on it.
I
But then I found
know
out
how
it was a
it-
thing
yeah.
from 7.
Yeah.
That like because of their
I
whatever.
also know.
Yeah, I didn't actually like proper look at it. I'm almost tempted to go back and play 7 at some point.
Yeah.
Just because I always avoided it because I was like, nah, not in first person. But then I played this one. I'm like, nah, it works. Like it's fine.
Yeah, I think 7 tries to do more jump scare stuff. I think it
Yeah,
tries to be
yeah.
a scary
a scary,
game.
scary game.
It didn't scare me because I read about it on the wiki.
Well, how did
I did-
watching
Checkmate.
I did notice
Resident Evil 7.
your comments of no, I'm good.
Yeah, it.
When you're in
The first
in
real time
watching
I
the
actually like, and I don't put this on. I
Yeah.
don't. This is I've never gelled well with anything that like I was okay. To put things in perspective, and I think this is where the trauma began.
Yeah,
Living at my parents, but I was
scary?
early 20s, late teens. They have one downstairs rumpus room, computer room
And
thing,
that's where they kept the zombies, and you've never
No.
been good with that.
and we had a cat.
Right.
And I would have been in my early to mid teens because the cat got run over. But anyway, I loved that cat. Only cat I've ever loved.
Wow.
Yeah, hate cats otherwise. I would finish in this downstairs rumpus room and
What do you mean you would finish in the downstairs?
like on the
office room?
computer and
Come.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished.
Right.
We'll got a book later. We'll show you. And the downstairs rumpus room had a door on the opposite side of the room to the stairs,
yeah.
but that is where the light switch was. And well into my teens, and even a young adult,
You did the flick and run, didn't you?
I would do the flick and run and shit myself as I walked up the stairs away from the darkness because I was doing this for a while and then I didn't realize that the cat was still down there.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
cat got scared, I think, when the light suddenly went off and I was thumping on the
You were-
wooden
yeah,
stairs going up. And so all I heard was something behind me knocking shit over in the dark and chasing me up the stairs.
This cat's probably like so peaceful, just chilling out. Then you flick the light,
Yeah.
and it's just what?
And yeah, I think that's kind of like the origin of, like, that was my real life jump scare.
You want to know what my weirdest jump scare has ever been? There was one time I was visiting my parents and I was living in Melbourne, and we came back down and I was staying in my old room, and Mum had told me that they had rats in the house,
Yeah.
and because they had done some extensions and some rats had gotten in. We'd never had rats before, like mice, sure, but never a rat.
Yeah.
And they're telling me like, yeah, we can hear them like scuttling about. They sound huge, and I was with Lauren, who is very, very unimpressed with rats, right?
Naturally.
And so
Yeah.
I had this thing in the back of my head. It wasn't more for me. It was more like this empathy thing where I'm going, if there's a rat, Lauren's going to freak out, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
And anyway, we were asleep at night, and I kind of wake up in the middle of the night, and I could have swore I heard something, and I did. Like there's this rustling sound, and I kind of like look up, and I had laser surgery in my eyes a while back.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
have very, very bad night vision.
Yeah.
Like I just can't see shit.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm hearing something rustling about, and I'm like, the motherfucking rat is in my goddamn room. And then I kind of like, I get up on the edge of my bed, and I see something move. And it lunges towards me, and then it kind of like, it almost, what's the word? It
Veers off, or
it veers towards. It goes down, then
Oh.
back up. And so...
Like a flying possum?
In my
like
mind,
pouncing.
this thing is fucking like jumped off like a table.
Yeah.
And then landed, then jumped back at me.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And it was a plastic bag that was that was just like moved by the
It
wind.
just-
Like there was like a breeze or some shit, and it just or it was like on an angle and it just kind of went like, now I fall from gravity.
Yeah,
and it just naturally floated towards me and I had a fucking heart attack.
Like, I get scared every time I turn around in Vermintide. Of all the games where there are constant enemies, there's literally no way you can get scared. But the dwarf, every time I turn around, I flinch because the dwarf just in my mind looks like an enemy for a split second.
You know the biggest scare I got in Final Fantasy in Resident Evil so far?
Well, I think I do, but go.
There's a bird flew by.
Yeah. See, I
Really?
Yeah, we were
I must have
walking
missed that.
it was like right at the start. I'm in the village. I'm just walking along. Then a bird goes like, "Bah!" I'm like, "Nah."
The first one in watching it was when the guy behind the curtain shot at you.
Oh, yeah.
with the shotgun
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
See, I will admit too, I did like that. I was there to witness your like your atmospheric anxiety.
Yeah.
Where I could see you like trying to move.
Oh,
your head
yeah.
to see around corners and stuff while and it's like, I get it. I do it. I can't say I can't make fun of you for it.
I must say,
yeah.
As I was watching, I'm a big wuss, admittedly, but even you guys were like, Nick, especially you kept saying, there's nothing good about this. Oh, I don't like this. Like, you were both just starting to get really cautious and like,
well, like, when there's
especially when we got past the point that I knew.
the unexpected started to creep in.
Well, and I just knew like, okay, there's a big lady and she's walking around. and I gotta watch out for big lady.
All our viewers are only here for the big lady.
She's dead now.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts was like we just kind of like we went down the escalator. And we're like, okay, let's see. And I open the door. She's there. I close the door. I go back up the elevator. We'll just wait her out.
Yep.
Because it was like her 3 daughters that you had to kill before her, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, she's got the 3 daughters that float around.
And you had to expose them to cold.
Yeah, you got to expose them to cold and blow their bits off.
Yeah.
But like, it's.
I was saying to Jamie before the podcast, it looked, as someone that's never really played Resident Evil, it looked a lot more actiony than I expected.
I mean, it's less actiony than 5 and 6 were.
Wow, okay.
And actually, to be honest, too, probably
And 4. Hey.
4 as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, but like there is so much stuff in it that still feels like, oh, this is very Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like the moment that like, you know, you had the briefcase for the gun management, I'm like, all right, we're back at Resident Evil, like early Resident Evil item management.
Yeah.
And then you get that big sniper rifle, and I don't know why, but like that felt so Resident Evil to me.
I loved seeing you use that point blank, by the way.
Yeah, it's
didn't
good.
hip fire it. Yeah. Look down the scope at point blank.
I made sure.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying though. It's like it does genuinely feel like an atmosphere and gameplay wise. Even though we're into first person territory now.
Yeah.
When did that change?
With 7.
Yeah, previous one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it went from the
over the shoulder third person, wasn't it?
Because 6 was
1,
like
2,
an
and 3.
action-packed disaster.
1, 2, and 3 were like static camera, tank control.
Yeah.
Like, you know, wander throughs. And then
4, 5, 6 were
4, 5, 6 were
shoulder.
over shoulder, like third person kind of games.
Still tank control though.
Yeah, still tank controls. And then 7 and now 8 have been first person. So
Yeah, right, okay.
And then I don't know, I'm really keen to see how the rest of it goes because I've gotten a lot further now in it than we got on the stream. And like I'm still just really into it.
Yeah.
And like I definitely feel like I'm glad that I'm doing a playthrough by myself off camera and like so I can figure out a bit more of the game
So you
for
don't
when we stream.
Shit yourself when you're on stream.
Well, less the me shitting myself and more like knowing.
Whereas I am left to shit myself.
Yeah, Jamie's left to shit himself, but I'm gonna hopefully keep us from having to dawdle and run around.
Yeah.
So far, we haven't really run into many issues.
No.
I was talking to Lauren about it, and she actually did the assassination of the daughters in a completely different progression.
Yeah,
You know the last one I did?
Yes.
Where you're opening up the
roof?
atrium?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did that first.
Yeah, I think like because I was actually looking at it myself, and I went, "Wait a minute!" And so that was the point that I could then go and do when I sat down and played it. And I think I did. What was it? I ended up kitchen one first, like
Yeah.
we did, but then I just ran straight up and did that atrium chick, and then
what was the other one where they were in the
armory.
Yeah, where you blow the hole in the wall.
Yeah. So
Which you did by accident from memory.
no,
With the pipe bomb.
I saw that the hole was there. I'm like, I got a plan. And I just chucked the pipe
yeah,
bomb.
he just chucked a pipe bomb. So no, I think like it's got a bit more of a free range element to it than the other ones have had, which is nice too.
Yeah.
Well, then 4, 5, and 6 have had.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Has it always been
because-
Capcom?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, no, always been Capcom. This is actually an interesting point too, where this is making a lot of people say, okay, Capcom, can you have a chat with Konami and tell them to treat their horror franchise with as much respect as
What's
you've
that?
done?
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Konami
as
would
you've
say
done for
no,
this.
fuck
And
off.
yeah,
And then they'd shit on
Konami
you.
are just too busy like shitting everywhere and making pachinko mobile games and shit. So
I mean, like, okay, Metal Gear Solid 5 sold better than any of the other Metal Gear Solid franchise games, right? Like, it did incredibly, incredibly well. The first thing Konami did was basically, like, force Kojima out.
just force him
And then
out.
kill the Metal Gear franchise with Survive.
Yeah, by making Metal Gear survive.
So
That was the multiplayer one.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a hollow shit show shell of a pile
Was
of shit.
Kojima involved in 5 before he left?
Yes.
Or-
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, he was involved in 5.
Yeah.
Was that the
You
one with
can- you
Kiefer
can-
Sutherland?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can feel the Kojima radiating off that
Yeah,
when you
okay.
play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just and I will admit I'm there with them because I really liked 1. I really liked 2. 3,
Is it Silent Hill or
yeah,
Metal
Silent
Gear?
Hill,
Yeah.
Silent Hill. I really liked 1. I really liked 2. What was it? I think 3 was more action oriented, but it was still fine. 4
3
was
was
done
still
by
the core.
yeah, it was still like some of the core group,
Yeah.
and then 4 was
They split off into 2
all
teams.
people that did the first game, like all people that worked on the first game initially, that did 4. But then they're the people that got liquidated into mobile game pachinko shit.
Is that what happened? I thought it was backwards. I thought it was like they had like 1 and 2 were like the same group, and then 3 and 4 they actually took the group and split
They
it in
split
half.
them in half,
And,
and then,
and 4 wasn't even meant to be 4. It was going to be a spin-off.
No, it was going to be a spin-off.
And then they just rebranded it as Silent Hill.
And then they called it The Room.
Yeah.
And like initially it was supposed to just be in the but yeah, but 4 was yet again really good. Like,
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, it's still
interesting.
good.
It was
Like,
really good,
yeah.
yeah. But then like everything else after that was like this weird fucking mess.
there was this
where it
weird
was
thing
just
going on.
Silent Hill being a name slapped onto things.
Well, because like there was this odd thing going on in Konami and other Japanese studios at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
where they were going, we don't know how to make games that appeal to Western audiences, so we will
Yeah.
get Western developers
Yeah.
and we'll have them develop our creepy Japanese horror
Yeah.
games. And for some reason, it all came out
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
Well,
why.
there's a little bit of authenticity.
Yeah.
when you do
Yeah,
that.
like he lost a lot of it. And I mean
And they all have to have Pyramid Head because he's not just
'cause
like
he's not, well, that was the frustrating thing with Silent Hill was that it's like the frustrating thing with when people fuck with Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's intrinsic shit to the lore that they fuck with.
Yeah.
And like when it's real specific, interesting lore shit that you're like, oh, I know this and I like this.
Yeah.
And then they just shaft.
Like
it.
it's great
like-
that you like Pyramid Head, but
Yeah.
don't put him in anything that doesn't have to do with James.
No, because that was it. That was his
It was
fucking
just
monster.
James's-
That was
yeah,
the
monster.
end. And yeah, because like that's also another thing that I feel like got lost with Silent Hill was that the first games were all just literally like, this is effectively a psychological horror game.
Yeah,
Where like you aren't sure how much of this is just the protagonist's head.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, but now we're up to downcoming, poor home,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck it is.
Downpour and Homecoming.
Yeah, that's
and-
it. And like you look at them and it's like, no, something's wacky here. And it's like,
On the subject of horror,
Mm.
I must say, if I tolerate anything horror,
yeah.
I do like, and I kind of got educated on this by Stephen a little bit. Whereas Western seems, this is more movies. I don't know if it
Yeah.
translates into games.
I think it
They
will.
seem to go for more jump scares,
Uh-huh.
whereas Japanese, in particular,
Yes.
do a really good creepy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. Jump
yeah.
scares take the fun out of it for me because
Yeah. it's-
I'm on edge. And I get that's what
Yeah.
they're probably designed to do.
Yeah,
But
that's-
that for me is like putting chili in a
Well,
nice dish. It just ruins.
Damn it, Josh. Stop saying things I want to argue with. But no, like I fully get what you mean though. Like if it's just a jump scare, it's really hollow. It's very like base level shallow.
Yeah.
See,
Whereas if it's creepy, it's like
yeah.
I need to know why and I need to know how.
You know, the best
a lot of horror things from the West tend to treat it like it's a roller coaster.
Yeah,
they want to get your heart rate going. They want to get you excited and have you with like adrenaline.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of the Japanese stuff,
unsettling.
They want to get in your head.
Yeah.
And they want to make you think about shit and have like some existential terror.
Because this is a bad example, but it is a good example of adding a creepy element. Like I can't remember. You guys probably know, but it's basically Japanese Hunger Games. It came before Hunger Games.
Yeah, Battle Royale.
Yeah, Battle Royale.
Yeah.
That
was creepy as shit.
Was just I was just watching it going, this is it's ultra violent and I mean we're all desensitized to that. But the creepiness that they managed to get in there, I'm like, this is amazing in a really twisted way.
I actually remember I found like the full version of that on YouTube or something, and I linked it.
That's
on
where
Facebook.
I watched it.
Yeah, and then you watched it, and you're like, "What did you just send me?" It's like, it's
a really good film though, but it is just a really just intense.
And because then I watched Hunger Games, and I'm like,
not as good.
Well, not as good, but it also they should be a lot more traumatized than they actually are.
Yeah,
they are in a battle royale. It's real. The Western market pictures it as more good and evil.
Yeah,
the Japanese are like everyone's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I prefer that.
Well, that was one of the things about Silent Hill was that your protagonist, you yourself had to consistently question, like, wait, how messed up am I?
Yeah.
And that was one of the interesting parts initially for Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But then when they turned it into third person kickabout game.
Yeah.
I tell you who shouldn't be able to make psychological films.
What's
Serbia.
Are you talking about a
Serbian film?
I don't think that was
when I watched
Serbia themselves.
It was Serbian, and it was supposed to be a commentary on life in Serbia.
Right.
I'm not going to say any more than that.
No idea.
Look at the Wikipedia. Don't look for any footage. How this film was ever made, how it was ever been able to be released.
I have watched Cannibal Holocaust, so it's like
I don't know what that is, but Serbian film. Nothing has ever come close to a Serbian film.
Cannibal Holocaust has like a lot of real animal deaths in it,
but cadavers
and cadavers.
Yeah.
But like Serbian film has like it's got very twisted, just like conceptually like messed up shit.
Okay. I don't
Read the synopsis on Wikipedia. That's how I got intro to it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that sounds messed up. I need to go see this.
Right.
How'd you feel after you watched it?
I couldn't get through it.
Wow.
Genuinely couldn't get through it. I can't even start like this podcast. Like we talk about a lot of horrific shit, but I wouldn't. Like the basic premise is this guy is an ex porn star.
Right. No, all right. Like I know what the synopsis is. Don't go into it.
No, I'm just saying. And he gets dragged back into it for money. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say. So there's a very strong sexual theme to it, and it's twisted as fuck. I can't. It kept me awake at night. And I've been on the internet a long time. I've seen some messed up shit. But anyway, the Japanese do. I much prefer the psychological aspect of horror. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that. Anything with a jump scare, like Outlast, can get fucked.
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. Like where you watch stuff like The Grudge or
The Host,
The Ring, and it's like you watch the Japanese versions. And they're really good. Yeah. And they're fucking creepy as shit. Like, I'm not going to lie, that was one of my, like, flick the light and fucking jog out of the room moments was after I think I'd watched...
I can just see you go...
because I think I'd watched, like, The Grudge. And, there was the chick whose house that I'd watched it at and I was staying at for the night. I was, like, I had to flick the light off and I was, like, I was like, hop to the bed. And I just wasn't fine with the fucking whole thing. But, like, that was the thing. It made stuff that stuck in your head. And then you watch, like,
the American
versions of it that they've made and you just, like...
As soon as it's off, you forget about it.
Yeah, as soon as it's done, it's done.
I think the impact, the true measure of a good film is that you think about it afterwards.
Yeah, how much
sticks
it
with
sticks
you.
in your head,
Yeah.
and like in what way?
Yeah. Like concepts and imagery really last. And if you've got like good concepts with strong imagery, that will stay with somebody a lot longer than like, I spooked you. You were expecting me to jump up and go boo, but I did. You went, "Ooh."
Yeah. So that actually too was, again, another interesting movie to watch was a movie called The Pulse.
Yeah.
And it was just basically this whole thing which like turned the mobile, the 5G network into basically a horror, like other dimensional
Anyone hear that pop?
Yeah.
thing.
Are we okay?
We look to be.
All right.
I don't think
Yeah.
it comes through on there.
Okay.
All right, cool.
But yeah, that was like, things from another spooky dimension spooking out in our. I think that is one of the few Western films that I've watched that have taken a concept like that and actually done a really good job with it.
Yeah, okay.
But that's kind of the thing though, where it's like that was very obviously, and like I had a bit of a look at it. It was someone that was like, I like this kind of film.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am making a movie to be that kind of film.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't that big of a release either. Like it got a vivid release at some point.
Yeah,
But that's
not
the
to say
thing,
that
though, like-
Westerners filmmakers can't.
No, well, I mean,
do
let's
it,
face
but-
it. The Evil Dead movies are like some of my favorite movies that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And like,
Didn't that guy go on to be in a TV show based on that?
yeah,
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce
Yeah,
Campbell.
Bruce
did
Campbell.
that. Bruce Campbell's been
Well,
lots of
because like
stuff.
Bruce Campbell's character changed dramatically from the first movie.
from the first movie to the last movie.
onwards. Like it went
Yeah.
from like being a horror to like
Yeah.
a
Like the
horror
fir-
with
the
action
first-
elements to just an action comedy.
Yeah, and it was
Okay.
like all three of them were just really good blends, and that was the thing. Like, so the first Evil Dead movie is legitimately, I think, one of my favorite films I've ever seen,
Yeah.
and it is like it's a scary.
You'll
film
never
with
trust
lots
a
of-
tree again.
No, never again. You can't like. But so that being said, there is obviously good movies like that.
Yeah.
But that is just yet again that thing where it's like, oh, that's the example. Whereas there's like 9,000 of these movies that come out a year.
Yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't give a shit about like
Yeah.
8,994.
Like two spring to mind. Just quickly, there was one, and it wasn't a horror, but it was certainly a psychological trip, and it was weird. It was a Vince Vaughn movie,
Oh yeah, they're weird.
and damn those romantic comedies.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. I'm not going to be looking it up, but he's a prisoner. He's an ex-boxer,
Oh, right? Yeah.
and goes to prison, and it just the stylistic feel to the film.
Yeah.
Like there was this section of the prison where it was all underground and it was like a whole subculture under there.
Right.
And just the violence was violent. It was gory, but it wasn't overdone. It felt like it was appropriate.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Vince Vaughn, of all people, played such a convincing, and because he's a big guy,
big dude.
the fighting style they gave him was that of a boxer, but he was very rigid.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know. It was like the first thing that comes to mind is that comical, the big guy's holding the forehead of the little ninja away, and they're just swinging, and it was just like that, but done in a really creepy way.
Yeah. Okay.
That and I don't know what it's called. I think it's maybe just called The Hole, and it's a prison where the center is just like an elevator comes down.
Okay.
So imagine a big skyscraper,
Yeah.
100 levels. The top is just an elevator, like an open elevator. It's like a platform that goes all the way down, and it's like the prison is a circle,
Yeah.
and they load it with food.
Right.
And then
chuck
as
it in.
the thing comes down, because it only stays on every floor for a limited amount of time, you're not allowed to take food off the platform.
Right.
You have to eat it while it's on your floor.
Oh, okay.
And then so it goes down and down. And so the lower you are, the less food you get,
Yeah.
the more cannibalism there is.
Right.
And it's a really creepy concept.
Sounds like a flawed system. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that was how they did
Yeah, to keep the
population
population down.
control.
Yeah.
And but then like once a month, if it would randomly select you for a new floor.
Oh,
So
right.
they gas
that was
you,
how they- yeah.
and they completely rearrange. So you could go from like 99, and if you survived because you probably ate your celly,
Yeah.
and then you could be on number 2
Right.
and live like a cushy life for a month. And I'm like,
See, now it's just like overly complicated. Like, yeah, I got to gas all these motherfuckers and move them up to the floors. Like,
jeez.
give me strength.
They got a system worked out, I'm sure, to make it really easy.
Yeah.
Who's funding this?
Yeah.
Barry.
Privatized
Barry
prisons.
big bastard.
See, like when you get like to those kind of those concepts where it gets too complicated, that's when my suspension of disbelief like clearly
Falls out,
breaks.
yeah.
Like I've gone like, who funds this shit?
I
Like,
don't think, like it's a bad system for a prison.
Oh,
yeah. There was
But
Make
as
an
a
interesting
film,
movie.
as a
Yeah.
psychological project, it was,
there was like some manga that Lauren was reading that she was telling me about, where like the whole idea is that like there are these guys who go into this dungeon and they're trying to get rich or something.
Do they see dragons?
I don't know, but the further down you go, like you get cursed.
Yeah.
and,
Right.
and like there's like you can't go up.
Debuffs.
You can only keep going down, but the
Yeah.
further down you go, the worse shit gets.
Right.
And so like that's interesting, but like I don't, and it kind of works on like this sort of like malevolent reason why you have to continue suffering, otherwise you just stay where you are and you suffer that way. And you hope to find something at the bottom to get yourself out of there somehow.
right.
But instead of
Sounds like the opposite of climbing Mount Everest.
a little bit, but like I can work better with like, you have to do the bad thing because you can't do this thing with like a supernatural twist. But when it goes like, okay, you're in a prison, there's like 100 floors, you're on a different floor, you can only eat food at this point. Too many rules.
I mean, have you seen Snowpiercer?
No.
That's really good.
That's another really good example of. I find a lot of these things are literally putting humans in really bizarre situations.
Yeah, that's
like the
what it
prison,
is.
like
Yeah.
Snowpiercer, where there's a class system.
Yeah.
And then just seeing how they react. And because humans are, by our very nature, just messed up
Yeah.
creatures, there will inevitably be some just nasty shit
See,
happening.
it's not a really, it's not a horror movie at all.
No.
But like the way that they did like that, the part in 2001 where the AI has gone insane.
Yeah.
It controls everything. And the two astronauts are figuring out, how the fuck do we turn off this AI? And they've kind of gone to this room where there's no camera. There's no recording equipment, so we can't hear them.
Yeah.
But like it reads their lips as they're talking to each other.
Okay.
But like that idea of like you're in space, you're in a situation where you're pretty fucked.
Yeah.
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 What do you do? How do you get out of it? Like stuff like that is really interesting to me. Like very kind of simple.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. How do I get out of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and it gets tense. I think like those the ones that are kind of like people are the real monsters, and like if you put them in like a 100-floor prison, where the food
They're gonna
is
eat
on a
each other,
rotating-
yeah.
like,
I get that you really don't like the prison concept.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
But what my point is, the most psychological scarring film, I guess, for lack of a better word, is when they're in a more plausible scenario.
it's when you can
Yes,
get
yes,
it. When you
yes.
can
Yeah.
see it and you understand.
So I guess that point I agree with.
yeah, so we're
Like,
basically agreeing.
yeah.
So that like this actually reminds me, like what you were saying actually reminds me of a game called The Suffering,
Oh yeah,
where
that was plausible as shit. Ghosts.
that was ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
That was ghosty motherfuckers, and that
Ghosts
was
in a prison.
that was ghosts in a prison from like 100 years of people getting fucking killed different ways.
Wow. Okay.
It was like very Hellraiser-esque with its designs.
Yeah.
It was very everyone's a piece of shit no matter what kind
Yeah,
of, but
okay.
you can try and not be because you're controlling the protagonist.
Yeah.
And it was just really good that it was like it did a bit of a people are shit, but you can try not to
Ghosts
be.
are worse.
Yeah.
Ghosts
Okay.
are scary and will fuck shit up.
The only caveat,
So-
is if you're exposed to chaos, like Sam Neill was.
in Event Horizon.
Yes.
That's it.
I was thinking about Event Horizon, but I'm like,
God, I love that film. I love that film so much.
I watched that again after you mentioned that the writers drew heavily from
Warhammer. Yeah.
And so once I watched it years ago.
Yeah.
Once I watched it in that context,
it
made so much sense.
Yeah, doesn't it just? Once you realize that that's the whole deal.
That
like-
movie made me so mad. The thing that got me the maddest, I still remember it to this day.
I know exactly
Sam
what this
Neill
is, and I'm so
has
keen to
ripped
hear
out
that.
his fucking eyeballs, dude's blind as shit,
Yeah.
and then he presses a button on a touch screen to open a door. How the fuck did he see the touch screen?
Because chaos.
Chaos, man.
Chaos.
Because chaos.
But it wasn't chaos.
Interdimensional chaos magic.
It was, yeah, if it was a 40k thing, I'd be like, all right, because chaos.
I mean, it is.
But it's not real.
They even call it chaos.
Yeah, even-
He says, "I've seen it. It's
Yeah,
chaos."
It's chaos.
The 8 points. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think even the guys that wrote it were just like,
A bit on the nose, but let's just call it
no
chaos.
one plays 40k. No one will know.
no one will know.
No.
No
Do you
one
guys
noticed.
like remember Fear? How that was like?
Yeah.
You kind of going like, oh, there's a spooky ghost lady. Sure.
Oh, yeah,
but like
yeah.
all of the guys you were fighting were like basically psychic puppets
Yeah.
of a
And
dude.
really
dude.
susceptible to slide kicks.
Yes.
really
Yeah.
susceptible psychic.
Didn't she? She mind raped you.
She
something
raped
like that.
you.
Yeah, she raped you.
She
I
gets
think,
pregnant with your.
Oh damn! I didn't know that.
Is that the end of Fear 2 where she does
Must
that?
have been. I only
Yeah.
played the first.
Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure for 3 is the one where like then you go,
Yeah.
oh, the pregnancy is a
There,
thing.
there is a scene where
Oh, damn.
she like paralyzes you and then like fucks
She
you
real
when you're in
little.
hell.
Yeah.
She wasn't then.
Oh,
Yeah, not
okay,
in that
good.
one. Yeah.
Whew.
She grew up.
That's why it was 2.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was already like she died ages
Millions ago.
Yeah.
and then she's running around as a little girl. Then she's running around as an of-age woman.
was
Luckily
pretty
enough.
Yeah.
And
For its
then,
time, it
then
was
she got
pretty
prego.
Yeah.
Quite liked Fear at the time.
I liked it.
Ran like a slideshow because I always insisted on
Yeah.
cranking the settings.
Yeah, but that was, I think, my thing was that by the time I got around to having a machine that I could run it well
It
on,
looked dated.
it looked shit, and like it didn't feel as good because I'd obviously had better since, if you know what I mean.
It relied a little too much on jump
Slide
scare,
kicks.
spooky ring child for me. No, the multiplayer relied on slide kicks too much. For
Oh,
sure.
yeah. The multiplayer was a
The
big hot
multiplayer
mess.
was slide kick shotgun the
very
game.
very broken.
I actually downloaded For Honor the other day.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow!
I'm going to give that just thinking of multiplayer. Because
really
we
like
played the
For Honor, so-
beta
Yes.
and I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really like For Honor, but
Yeah.
they have had so many issues with their servers and all that kind of shit
Oh,
over the
really?
years that's what like they have periods where they patch it and it's fucked. And
Yeah.
then they patch it and it's fixed. And then they patch it again and it's fucked.
Well, it's because they keep
And-
adding fighters and characters and stuff like that.
They keep going through cycles of being good and bad. With
Yeah,
their code
Nothing
more than
wrong with
anything.
adding characters. However, they have
Keep it balanced.
they have
Oh,
done
they
this.
definitely have not kept it
They
balanced.
they did this thing. I was watching a guy playing For Honor, and he's going like, "I've come back to it." And I guess he used to
Yeah.
play it a lot. And there's a thing. It's like a plague or something like that you can use. Like it's an ability
Ooh.
where if you hit
Right.
somebody with it, basically all the minions around you die instantly.
Oh,
and then you
jeez.
also like take damage over time until you die.
Yeah.
And it seemed busted as shit.
Yeah, it would be.
And the guys are like, "This is busted as shit."
Yeah.
And it like I'm watching him play. I'm like, he doesn't seem like he's having fun.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like that ended up being what the I think it was a character called the Lawbringer was for a lot of people. It was just so easy to fucking almost infinite stun combo.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was for ages. So they'd
I
like
just liked the fighting.
yeah, same. I really enjoyed it.
Let
to
me
be
go in
honest.
there and
Like,
fight.
They
Yeah.
didn't keep it simple.
No,
That's why I
they
do
got
need to try
overcomplicated.
Mordhau. I do need to download that.
Yeah,
Scratch
I got it.
that itch.
well, I one
Very
of the
different
things-
fighting style, but like
Yeah,
still really
Yeah.
good.
One of the things that I used to love with For Honor was that 1v1 me bitch like button that you could use.
Oh yeah,
After a match, and like I loved that because I got pretty good initially.
Yeah.
I assume I'd be garbage now because of how much time I spent out of the game.
yeah.
But like back in the day, and I just took like the berserk dude warrior guy, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just going to learn him real good.
Yeah.
because it does have a lot of like very similar mechanics to a fighting game. Like you got your stun locks and you all that. Like you got your invuln frames,
Oh,
and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
If
there.
if someone had like the base idea of how to make a fighting game, but was unsure about execution and
Yeah.
never figured
And
out how
never
other people
actually
did
figured
it,
out how-
you've got the
yeah.
fighting system for Honor because
Yeah,
like,
right,
that
okay.
shit's busted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's busted.
It's never been very good.
No.
It's fun.
It's
for a
fun,
little bit, but
but-
then when you dig deep, you go like, oh, there are easily exploitable combos that like only certain guys have,
Yeah.
and if you play against them, you're at a massive disadvantage.
Which I get mad about because I refuse to play as a character just for the meta.
Yeah.
I have to play someone I actually want
That's
to be.
fair.
I
Yeah.
can't
I struggle with that in
fucking
things like
stand.
in LOL.
Yeah.
I hate being a slave to the meta.
Yeah, I can't stand
Takes the
it.
fun out of it. It's like
Absolutely.
you've got to like 200 champions, but you're telling me there's only 10 good
that are
ones right
useful,
now.
Yeah.
And see, like, and this is the thing that like I do really love about good fighting games is like even though like there is like they don't really call it. Oh, maybe they call it the meta now, but it used to be tier lists.
It's still
Yeah.
tier lists.
And so like
Fighting
you'd be
games
like,
still get tier lists,
this
yeah.
guy is like god tier, this is low
Yeah.
tier trash, whatever. But people will still win tournaments with like low tier characters, just a character that they love and
Yeah.
they learn to use.
See, LOL has tiers. They call it S for the top and then A, B, C. whatever.
Yeah.
Problem is, it really is shit tier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, if you're not playing an
yeah.
S tier champion, you know, like...
Right.
Well, because it's just four buttons and click around, you know.
It is, but it's the numbers they assign to them, the stats and stuff. So they'll nerf
Yeah,
or they'll
exactly.
buff. And then it does make such a big impact that it takes, you know, yeah.
Like,
I still remember.
It's a meta, like in LoL in particular, whatever the pros play
yeah.
tend to get
Easiest
played the most
whatever
in
it-
solo.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Like there are plenty of like nerfs and buffs to modern day fighting games, but it's like it's different things where it's like, okay, this guy's punch is like it's meant to be like a big deal, but it's not doing it. Like it's
Bit
too
undercooked,
It's
yeah.
too punishable. So like
Yeah.
if he punches with it, like he has like
If
these
he
frames.
works, you need him
yeah,
to- yeah.
He has like these frames where he's retracting and it can be punished, and it's making people not want to use it.
yeah.
So he has more invulnerable frames with it. Maybe
That
like
intrigues me
can't-
about fighting, the
Yeah.
whole frame thing.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's great.
frames and
It's-
spacing
yeah.
is a huge deal.
The timing
Frame
and
spacing,
so
hitboxes,
that you have to
timing,
have
yeah,
must be
all of it.
incredible.
So and so it becomes like minute tweaks that can just
Yeah.
change the balance of the
why-
entire game.
Top tier fighting game people are fucking terrifying.
How hard would that be to balance, though?
Very.
Yeah, very.
Because you're
It's-
not
it's
only
why it's- yeah.
balancing the if this hits, it does X amount of damage, or it can be blocked. You're literally going through frame by frame and going, okay, when can he interact again?
Yeah. Yep.
When can it be interacted with?
Yeah.
That's
But
It's intense,
you
man.
also have to consider that like what is a fighting game except for interactions between two characters. Like
Yeah.
there's no real level design. Like you can make a level that looks pretty.
Oh, I
but,
get
like,
that,
Like
but-
it's just mechanics.
but for the layman, it's like for me, I look at it and go, he won because he punched the guy more times than he got punched. But in reality,
there's a lot.
there's a lot of
yeah.
timing,
A lot of
especially.
yearning
It's
going
weird.
on.
Like the amount of matches that I've watched, like pro matches, that are like weird mental chess. Like
Yeah.
just come on. Oh, now I'm in.
Yeah.
And just like trying to figure shit out. Like I just recently sent a friend a gift of dive kick.
Yeah,
It's a fighting game with two buttons, a jump button and a kick button.
no dive.
No,
The
because
dive
you
is the
dive
kick.
when you kick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, you jump and like, but then each character within it has their own different like angle that they come on and their own different like
Yeah,
recovery
okay.
from when they land, and it's like
So it's a lot deeper than you would expect.
So it's then this
incredibly
game
deep.
that's only
Yeah.
got two buttons, but it's so fucking deep in how you play it and
Yeah.
just so intense.
Yeah.
and it's all like when you do the dive and the kick, you've only got one hit. That's it.
Yeah.
You got to hit the other guy one time.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that's
Yeah.
it. There's no block. There's no. There
Wow.
is just you both trying to jump and you're both trying to kick.
You know what I think the best balanced game in history is?
What?
StarCraft.
Yeah, StarCraft has to have legendary balancing.
Yeah.
You've got like there's like asymmetrical teams, and they're all
Yeah.
competitive.
I think they even struggled to balance their own sequel as well as they did.
Yeah, I think so.
Just the first one.
Like, I mean, StarCraft's balance is pretty legendary.
I do have to fully admit that I have had such little StarCraft exposure that I don't even know.
Well, I've also barely played it, but
Yeah.
I know that
I've heard about it.
Bizarre. I thought you
Lord.
guys played it for some reason.
No.
Because you guys have played like old school RTSs. Like,
Yeah,
played
StarCraft
Age
was
of
one of the,
Empires
Like
and stuff.
StarCraft, I don't think we really played
kinda
because we
missed out on
played a lot
StarCraft.
of Red Alert 2 around that time. I think.
something like that. I mean, we
Yeah.
played Warcraft, but like just for some reason, StarCraft never clicked.
Just didn't.
Yeah, all right.
Don't know why.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I used to play it a
just
lot.
didn't-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably to this day, my most played game.
Wow.
Yeah. Because when I was young, had a neighbour come over,
And you just play.
play StarCraft.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Then we discovered long network cables and we ran a 50-metre network cable. Didn't even have to come over anymore.
Excellent.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, our parents were not impressed.
That's fair. Now we just need to get like a 200-meter one, run it across.
Get you internet.
Run
yeah.
it across that dude's like that block in between our houses, and I can get some internet.
I'm serious. Authorize me.
Yeah. I know you are, man. I know. Do it. But
If NBN approached us and said, "Hey, would you do some promotional stuff?"
I don't know. Would you do your fucking job?
yeah, I was gonna say it depends on how good of a job you can do doing your fucking job.
I would say no.
No, well, we talked about this a while ago. Well, like
Yeah.
we've technically thrown down a bit of a gauntlet for any sponsor that may approach us because
Oh yeah.
they need to actually
Not be shit.
Like that's our one requirement. Don't be shit.
We have ethics.
Yeah.
Listen, either don't be shit or you pay us a lot.
Our tolerance for shit goes
Jamie,
lower and lower the more money that comes in.
That sentence alone just gave some like ethics professor an entire semester worth of material to be able to bring up.
You are
Next
welcome.
episode will be brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, but Jamie will arrive in a Lamborghini.
But Jamie will fly here in his jet.
I'll never work again.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, I actually really miss like just sitting in a room with a bunch of sweaty fucking nerds and just landing.
Yes,
Me too.
thank
So-
you. I miss landing.
Yeah, I do miss landing. And the problem is now, like, even if you do that, generally you're sitting in the same room to connect to an online server.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
And,
sucks so
and it's like, I can't even just.
Yeah.
hang out
We
with my
we should
friends.
hunt down games that have native LAN support and have like a LAN
Just
night.
have a LAN
where we
night.
literally disconnect from the internet and we can only play games
can
via
only
LAN.
We
Play games
all
online.
need to create a Dropbox folder though. Before Dropbox was an actual thing,
Yeah.
you would
Yeah, yeah,
name
yeah.
something on your C drive called Dropbox.
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
like put like all our
Oh,
downloaded
God.
All your game
movies
files.
and game files and
Just
everything in
all
there.
that shit in there.
So cool.
Honestly, that was some of the best.
Well,
That was the best part.
it was
Sometimes
like-
of
yeah,
going to a
like-
LAN, it's like, I'm going to get so much
You
shit.
go
Like,
to LAN and it'd be like a Christmas because you'd
had-
just be like looking through people's shared
we had
folders.
we had a LAN at my house when I lived with my parents.
Yeah.
And Jamie unfortunately had Firefly, and I'd never seen it, and you had it shared. And I spent most of the night
Oh,
just,
that's right. You were just watching it.
just watching Firefly.
Oh wow.
If I don't go to sleep early at a LAN, I just sit there and watch some video.
You just- Remember we had a LAN, we were playing Diablo 3 and you instigated a boss fight and Nick's like, I'm not ready. And I said, oh, okay. So I said no, he said no.
That's
You've gone
right.
into the boss fight and you've just fought the butcher.
Oh, that's right.
A
yes.
fucking 45-minute fight. We're like, just die and we can all do it
Just
together.
die and we can
you're
go
like,
in.
no, that's not what LANs are
You
about.
never die.
I
always die,
I
and then
never-
you always finish the fight.
I never die, but you're there with me. You're on the ground.
At least I'm in the arena.
Yeah. We were outside going,
Remember that LAN we had? I think this was when LANs were really dying for us as a group. Because we were supposed to have a LAN in the garage. Like I had that garage
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
Jiggle
yeah.
house. And then we ended up putting Man of Steel on, which put Jamie to sleep.
Yeah.
was that a LAN?
Yeah.
That was at the start of a LAN. We were gonna eat.
See, you're
The
always
pizza or
about
whatever.
watching movies and shit at LANs. I don't get it.
I don't usually like
Well,
that was a
initially-
one-off. I don't watch a lot of movies at
Thing is,
LAN.
that was gonna be like us just eating pizza, watching this movie, and
And
I
then
think,
going and
like,
playing
then
games.
just playing because I think we actually had to update and patch the shit that we were gonna play.
Yeah.
So I think we were kind of waiting on that, and we're like, we'll eat and we'll watch a movie, then we'll play video games. And you fucking died.
Yeah, well,
and I don't
Nothing
blame
kills
you.
Jamie like a Man of
Realistically,
Steel,
yeah,
man.
Man of Steel is my kryptonite. It's
just
the most boring
dropped
thing in
you
the
to
world.
Fucking sleep so
Oh,
hard.
God.
But I think did we end up playing Worms Armageddon?
Yes.
It must have been the worst.
Was
Yeah.
that the night that you gave your computer AIDS?
From
Because you were adamant, right? I remember you specifically being adamant that you didn't need any protection software on your machine.
Still don't.
And then I think we went and like you had to get
Torrented something, I think.
you went and torrented something, and then suddenly there was Russian wives on your fucking desktop.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that was.
And then
Yeah, I
I
had to
think-
disconnect, so I didn't give it to you guys.
Yeah.
So I think we ended up playing Worms Armageddon while you literally reformatted your entire machine.
Yeah. It's funny because that Diablo night too, when it first came out, were you there for that? I don't.
I'm not sure.
I have this
I
bad habit of
no.
upgrading
Oh
hardware
yeah, you
before
upgrade
LAN.
the day of a LAN. Yeah,
I must not have been because I would have been in Melbourne when
Yeah,
Diablo
no,
3
it was
came out.
Salter, friend Salter, and Sam,
Right.
my brother, and Stephen. I think, sorry,
Yeah.
it was there as well, and they, pretty pumped. First LAN since I got married. Diablo 3. Everyone was excited. I could care less, but I like
yeah,
ARPGs.
it's an RPG.
But for some reason, whether I'd already ordered it or bought it locally that day, you got a graphics card. And I'm like, you know what's a good time to upgrade your computer?
Oh, jeez.
An hour before everyone comes over.
Now, if we ever do another LAN,
Yeah,
you're not allowed to do that.
that's fine.
Because if you don't come actually prepared to play, you have to go home. Even if it's your home, you have to leave.
He has to leave
Go to
the
bed.
room.
Yeah.
He has to go and sit in the lounge room.
I think we should have a LAN though. I think the last good LAN that we had, and I don't know if you'd even call it a LAN. Well, it was 3 of us in a computer room. The Guild Wars jumping puzzle.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, is this when we were playing Guild Wars 2 and you just sat there
Yeah.
doing the jumping puzzle?
Was that really the last one?
I think
You
might
came over
'Cause
on
you were-
New Year's Eve with your VR, and Stephen was there.
Yeah.
in the Glenorchy house.
Yeah,
That didn't end great.
that wasn't a great. My grandma died that
Yeah.
night.
Oh,
That wasn't a good one.
that's that'll put a damper on it.
Yeah.
I'll throw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The VR was fun though.
But up
I
until
figured.
that point, it was a good night.
Yeah.
that was the first time
We-
Stephen and
yeah.
I tried VR.
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah, right.
awesome.
But no, I think that one, and then in that house, I think we had another Guild Wars 2 LAN.
Didn't we try and have
Later.
one?
Yeah, please
with
tell me we
Christmas
had
party?
another LAN.
Remember you dressed as Santa and drank cement?
Yeah, no, that was that. That was that
was-
one.
yeah, okay.
And then
That
I
was the
think-
Guild Wars
And
one.
then I think we had another night where we went and played Guild Wars as well there.
Because
Didn't we?
the jumping puzzle one was on the dining table
Yeah.
before I moved all my computer out into the garage.
Yeah.
So I think the garage one was the last one. But I think that was the Christmas party one. We did two
Yeah, that was
Guild
the
Wars
Christmas party
ones.
one. Yeah, we did two. Yeah. I don't know, but that still like illustrates my thing though, where like we went to sit in the same room to play a game that needed to connect to an online server.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
like halfway across the planet.
Yeah, I won't.
to
I won't
play
lie. Like
against each other.
we were like, let's get together and play Guild Wars. I'm like, we don't need to go anywhere to do that. We can just do that at home.
I will admit, I do like the interactivity of being in the
Yeah,
same room.
that would apply to anything now.
I would like, yeah, but an MMO in particular, they're so slow. I don't know. I'd like it if it was like,
They weren't slow when we did the fucking Nightmare Arbor, whatever it was, over and over again. All night.
Twilight Arbor,
That's
yeah.
it.
that was slow.
Well,
That's like
it wasn't for me. I was watching you finish it while we were dead.
feels like 95% of my life. But like the,
That's your own fault for being good at video games.
oh fuck off! It's my fault for not having better friends.
We're great friends. We're very patient
You're
with
great.
you.
You're great friends, but you're terrible gamer friends sometimes. No.
That was when I was still yelling about how mad I was. They nerfed my engineers.
Yeah,
Yes, I
that
remember
was the
that.
beginning of the end for you in Guild
I
Wars.
was so fucking.
But
mad
I was
about
going
that.
to say that I feel like LAN nights like that, even if you're connecting to a service, it's good if you're playing like a first-person shooter or some kind of Twitch thing where like
something consistent,
something where you
yeah.
can just like bark out like he's over here and you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about any kind of lag or anything.
Well,
You go,
those
"Gotcha."
those nights were really good for like Rainbow Six nights.
Yeah,
Stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Vegas 2,
Yes.
Terrorist
Yeah,
Hunt.
yeah,
Yeah.
Classic.
That was pretty.
I still
yeah.
like weirdly enough, one of my favorite moments of any kind of LAN was like a long time ago. You were with an ex girlfriend, and like her brother was playing Raven Shield with us, and he was like really shit, and we like, and we both were like, don't do that shit that you're doing, and then he instantly like he was like shooting guns and making sound or something like
Yeah.
that. He was blowing our cover. And then he did some dickish thing, and Nick and I silently, simultaneously, both just lobbed a grenade at him.
Just into the room he was in. Just for fuck's sake.
Just like,
That's how we played SWAT 4 most of the time.
that's how you guys play. I was constantly getting betrayed.
Oh, jeez.
I remember SWAT 4, there was one particular part of a level where you started in an elevator
Right.
and you exit the elevator and that's the mission start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you would be lucky if all of us got out of that elevator alive because as soon as you can interact, someone would either lob a grenade into the elevator.
I just couldn't trust you guys, like, because it was always like you and Steven.
Well,
and,
Stephen
and your
tased
brother.
accidentally tased a hostage, and
That's
so I shot
fine.
him in the head.
Yeah, that's not.
The hostage or him?
We would,
Him.
we would
Oh, God.
start the fucking mission, and then like Sam or Josh would kill either one of them. Like it'd just be
Jeez.
pandemonium from the get go. No concept of like let's do the thing.
Let's do the thing.
The
nah.
instant they start, it's like, all right, we're gonna be good this time. Bang!
I just like dropping the frag in
I was
the elevator
so-
because I just have a specific memory of there being silence because we all agreed this will be like, let's do it, let's do it. we were all so quiet, and then you could just hear a grenade, dink, dunk, 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 and you'd hear Jamie go, "For fuck's sake!"
That was the night I learnt not to trust.
Just silence, and you hear a grenade dropping, and Jamie just losing
You're
it.
scarred for life.
I'm pretty sure that like at one point when we were playing SWAT 4, I stopped playing SWAT 4 and I like and I'm like, fuck it, I'm playing Prey. Because
Yeah.
that was the same time frame.
Yeah,
and I'd just gotten it off someone else's computer. I'm like, fuck it. I'm
You were
not.
the original rage quitter.
I'm not surprised. Good Lord. That made me so mad.
Oh, jeez.
Well, next time we have a LAN, and I think we should make it life's mission to have one more LAN.
We should try and have
One
another
final
one.
land.
One final LAN. But yeah, find some old games that have LAN,
Just straight up land support.
Yeah.
just LAN support. There are still some good games that I think work really well in a LAN environment,
They're
like
fun, yeah.
RTSs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think RTSs are great.
Like strategy games if you can sit there and yell at someone, give me wood.
Yeah.
Like it's
Like,
it's much better than
When I lived with friends, we ended up literally going from partying on a Friday night to sitting inside, having a drink, playing Age of Empires. And it was so much fun. I
Yeah,
love that game.
honestly, that's what I prefer. Just having a drink and playing Age of
See,
Empires
I-
instead of partying.
I ended up one of the share houses I was in for a while was we started off with everyone kind of seconded to their rooms, but then it just kind of ended up being that on this fucking table tennis table in the lounge room, we just ended up with all our monitors and shit on it, and that was just kind of where
Jeez.
we'd end up existing.
Was it the days of CRTs? Because that poor table
Oh,
tennis
yeah,
table.
No, that table, I was worried about that table.
Everyone who used to
Yeah.
come round to mine, if it was just one person or even multiple people, if they
that
didn't fit
that
on the
shitty
big
card
dining
table.
table.
geez, yeah.
But my dad would never let me get rid of that card table because it was his like great grandfather's, and I'm like, that's even more reason to get rid of it. I use it for computers.
Like, it's fine, but just buy me a better card table. I'll keep the old one, but give me
He's
one
like,
that...
nah, it's sturdy. It's lasted 100 years.
I'm not worried about the table. I am worried that like it's going to shift to the side
I
as it
said
was
to him,
wont
Dad,
to do.
it
And it,
was made in a time where CRTs weren't a thing to consider when
weren't.
building a table.
I was terrified my monitor would topple off.
I
that
still
thing.
have it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
We'll
Nick
never
and I played
use
our
it.
first
Painted on it.
Warhammer game on it and everything. Yeah,
That's fine because they're light.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
God.
little minis.
Yeah,
they're not
nah.
big monies.
Oh, I've had to use that card table a couple of times at LANs and I've never enjoyed
There
it.
was even a time where I ran a program, and these are really unnecessary now, but they're probably still out there, where games would shift to online only.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the internet was blowing up, and so people were having less LANs.
Yeah.
But there were still some games you wanted to play that didn't have online connectivity.
Talking about Game Ranger?
So stuff like Game Ranger, or I can't remember the other one that I used.
Oh, it was some like Japanese name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had to
Fruity Bucky
trick the
Bukkake,
computer into
yeah.
thinking you were on a LAN.
Yeah.
So it'd think that you're on a LAN, but you're actually just connecting to other people.
Rarely
Just
ever
in
worked.
things. Yeah.
And it was literally just a peer-to-peer VPN, but
Yeah.
We made it work once.
I think we got it to
Yeah,
work
we
once.
used it before.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
used it. Yeah, I can't remember what we used it
it
for.
had
but
worked.
yeah.
I can't remember what the game was. It was around the time we played Borderlands, actually. I know that was online, but it was around that time
Yeah.
because I remember setting it up while I was living with an ex. She was not impressed.
I definitely set it up when I was in Melbourne at some point. There was like a game that we really wanted to play, and it's like it doesn't have servers anymore, or it never had servers, and it was just like on like LAN play only. And we're like, there's ways around that now. And I cannot remember what the game was for the
Was
life
it
of me.
Saints Row 2, was it?
Nah.
Because that ran off a service that doesn't exist anymore.
So many good games back then. I mean, there's good games now, but
there is
you
now,
start going
yeah.
down memory lane and you're like,
Yeah.
like playing legitimate games of Warcraft 3 that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Love that game.
Yeah. I did really enjoy just straight Warcraft 3. Like, obviously with the expansion, like I played a lot of that.
Yeah.
Demigod was my original MOBA love.
I still
We
never
hardly played that, but we did play
I
it
used
at
to play it a
LANs.
fair bit by
Did you?
myself.
Yeah, okay.
It was just a really like cool art style, but almost going for a too realistic look. Like it never ran well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything was like a MOBA in really slow motion.
Like I think that the problem with Demigod is it just came out too early because
was ahead of its time.
They were always going like, oh, we play, we loved Defense of the Ancients,
Yeah.
and we think that that's a good game type and it's deserving of having a physical retail release.
Yeah.
And so they're on the right track, but their execution was just not quite right.
And at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was the wrong time. I reckon if Demigod had like similar to League of Legends, where it's like free to play, like because the entry price was the hardest part.
Yeah.
If they made it free to play and actually,
Because it was a Stardock thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
and they only ever added 2 heroes to it, like extra heroes.
Yeah, wow.
And it's just like,
Man, my memory's shocking. You guys have good memories. That and then MOBAs kind of turned into this Heroes of New Earth versus League of Legends battle.
yeah, I remember that.
And then Hon kind of
Whatever
just
happened
lost.
to Heroes of New Earth? Did it just go away?
I think it just, I don't think it's actively supported anymore.
Because Dota 2 came out, and I
Yeah.
think that was the thing that really like took away the
Dota 2 rested on its laurels, or on the name, I think. And Valve. Isn't it Valve? That's
Valve.
Yeah, it's
I don't think it's rested. I think it's doing quite well, isn't it?
Oh, as in it succeeded, I think, on its
Yeah.
on its
But I hear it-
history.
Name
and-
more than anything.
And-
Yeah.
yeah.
If I recall correctly, like Heroes of New Earth was like they were going like this is the more faithful experience to original Dota.
Right.
Like, so if you really like Dota,
Yeah.
go to Heroes of New Earth, and then
Because they were all Dota contributors, weren't they? That split off once. Some of them made
yeah,
League
like
of Legends.
Ice Frog or some shit. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But then like obviously Valve made Dota 2.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is where you go for the
So
Dota.
Blizzard never had any ownership over
Nah.
Dota?
No.
How could
It was
they?
a mod.
It was just a mod that they had.
Okay.
Although now, if you read the terms and conditions for the new
Yeah.
Warcraft Reforged, they're like, anything you make
Is
belongs
ours.
to us.
Yeah,
To
I
us,
would have
yeah.
thought that would apply back then.
No.
But
No, they weren't scumbags back then, but now they're
because that's a big
Activision.
cash cow they missed out on
Yeah, it's fucking
by
huge,
simply
but-
not.
Like the
Licensing
idea,
it.
the idea of them going, we are giving you tools to make whatever you want inside this game.
By the way, it's ours.
If you create a system that is very good and you've made it, in your own time,
Yeah.
then it's ours. Like that
Yeah.
that's scumfuckery.
Yeah.
That's pretty basic IP law now, though. If you work for an employer,
But they're not working for him.
yeah, as long as it's in your own time.
yeah, like the idea of going like, because I mean, there are employers that in my line of work, they go like, oh, if you make anything while you're working for us, that's ours.
Yeah.
Like I would, if I saw that in the contract, I would take that to somebody and say like, I'm crossing this out, and that's how I'm signing it. I'm
lot of
not
them-
agreeing to that.
Like in IT in general, if I developed some software or something, if it was done on a work resource, so if it touched a work computer,
Yeah.
even in my lunch break, then they would have claims to ownership.
And that's why I was talking to a teacher when I was in uni who was basically going like her dad was a lawyer, and she's going, yeah, if you ever see in a contract that anything you make belongs to them,
Yeah.
instantly push back on that.
Yeah.
Like because like it's really just it's some bullshit that they'll back off on if they got any sense.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And like get like if you want get a lawyer involved, that's fine. But
Yeah.
like because like it's one of those things that with scrutiny and some pushback, they kind of go like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were just trying to fleece you just in
Yeah,
case.
we were just trying to.
Yeah, if you come up with $1 million idea,
We really would like the $1 million idea that you came up
they
with.
probably don't even read those contracts when you sign them and send them back. So
No, I do it every time, particularly with like the industry that I'm in.
it was like that guy years ago got a credit contract for a credit card from the bank, and as a joke, crossed out everything to do with repayments, everything to do with interest,
Yeah.
crossed out the credit limit, made it like $1 million.
Yeah.
And then basically made it so that he didn't have to pay any of it back, and it was all 0% interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't check it, and they signed it. He returned it. It went through. He got his credit card, and it was like 6 months down the track
Yeah.
where the bank noticed and tried to recoup like $500,000, $600,000 by that
Yeah,
point,
Wow.
and
Jeez.
they didn't have a leg to stand on.
Fuck.
It's like, what? I'd be terrified. Like, if they approved it, I'd be like, "Hey, this is funny that look the bank approved it, but I'm not going to go spend the
I
money."
was gonna say,
I
I
mean-
probably wouldn't spend the money.
No,
I'd probably
I'm-
like.
I mean, that's a legal document. They signed it. They did sign it.
You could probably
But
fund
that-
your legal defense with
think-
your
Yeah,
credit
that's what I was
card.
thinking. Your credit card, your legal defense at that point, and
I think that's why now they make you sign things in triplicate.
Yeah, probably. Far Cry 6.
Oh yeah, that's
I wanted
the
to
thing.
mention Far Cry 6.
Got to sign that in triplicate too.
Fucking Doji.
I was
McDoji
disappointed with
trailer or whatever it
5. It didn't grab me. And I felt like they made some changes. I felt like the AI was dumber somehow.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And that there was more of it.
Yeah,
And you know
okay.
what? You couldn't set wildfires as well as you could.
Oh, as well as you could
Yeah,
before.
Number
yeah.
2 had like the best fire system, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
just
number
never did
2
anything
did.
with that.
Yeah.
But it's always number 3. I love number 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've always bought them. I've always played them. 4, I finished. 5, I didn't like the setting. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that Middle America,
Redneck,
Bible Belt,
America
redneck kind of
somewhere.
setup, yeah.
I did like the setting for that actually. I thought that was like an interesting avenue, but I didn't really enjoy the game itself because
there's just something about the AI. They just seem to appear all the time. Like in 345 or 3-4.
Yeah.
Granted, they were a lot more remote locations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense if you're in Montana or wherever it was that you might run
There'd be
into.
a pile of
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like they
There was
just
something
gotta
about that
walk
game
over.
that didn't
Yeah.
click with me, which is really weird because it's fairly formulaic at this
Yeah,
point.
it's
Maybe that's why it didn't click with you because like it's just the same basic formula and you just tweak
Yeah.
things here and there, and it's kind of it feels lazier.
But
I-
6 looks awesome.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm optimistic but cautious.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like an interesting setting. It's like in a country on the brink of civil
Civil
war.
War, yeah.
The baddie in it is believable, like basically a dictator of a small island state.
Yeah.
Its setting is a lot more plausible. The graphics look great.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got a known actor playing
Yeah, playing the villain.
the villain.
George Clooney.
no.
That guy had a Breaking Bad. That's the only thing I've seen him in. That and some B grade cop film.
Yeah, I'm about the same, to be
Yeah.
honest with what I was saying.
But yeah, so anyway, they did a gameplay reveal. Yeah,
Yeah,
the reason I bring
yeah.
it up. I think it's due in October.
Yeah, October now.
But yeah, pumped for that.
See, because my thing with Far Cry, the thing that kind of brought life to it for me was the fact that they made it co-op.
Yeah.
And so that's actually how I played. I never actually played 5. I played the 5 New Dawn one.
Oh, okay.
Which is like the post-apocalyptic one on the same map, but messed
Right,
up because
yeah.
apocalypse.
The whole thing was on the same map as like the last 2
Yeah.
games as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Well,
see that
was-
where they took
yeah.
like the game apps and put them side by side? It's like,
No.
oh, they literally just copy and pasted the
did.
maps and added like trees and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
But the
Doesn't surprise me, but no, I didn't
No,
notice.
But yeah, no, I really liked New Dawn, and I think that was more because I just got into just more the story stuff than
Yeah.
anything. Like the gameplay loop at that point is just very ho hum for me.
I never
now.
played it. So I think isn't the story that the Fanatics won or set off a nuke or
the
something?
Fanatics were right apparently, and like they were like prophesying end days, nuclear war,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Never happened.
And then it did happen.
Well, that's
Yeah.
egg on our faces.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of these weird things where it's like obviously they were psychos that had that
Yeah.
weird religious aspect to it.
Did you
but-
ever play
Yeah.
Blood Dragon?
Yes.
yeah, Blood
It's
Dragon
incredible.
was
Yes.
pretty
Blood
rad.
Dragon was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what kicked off their thing of having like a game come out and then basically having like big expansion as another release later.
It was
So-
like you wouldn't even call that an expansion. It was almost
No,
like
that
a
was its
fan
own-
mod
yeah,
from
it was
their
like a
own
fan
internal
that
thing.
just
Yeah,
got made. But yeah, like that kind of kicked off that mentality for it, and it was really good. And to be honest, yeah, like Far Cry 5 New Dawn was awesome. so-
Okay, sorry, but I've just thought. Do you guys remember
Oh, no.
the total conversion for Quake where you were fighting the X-Men?
No.
No.
There was an official total conversion.
Official?
I think. I think it
Wow.
might have been called like X-Men Apocalypse or something.
Right.
But it was literally you were like a guy.
I need to see
Like,
this.
The story is that Apocalypse had captured all the X-Men, and then he cloned all the X-Men, and you were a guy who was sent to kill all the clones of the X-Men and stop Apocalypse.
Right.
But it was literally just like skins, on current enemies. It's like this guy, that ring skin, the flying dude is Storm. Like it was so bizarre.
Ravages of Apocalypse?
Could be. I can't remember exactly, but I even remember seeing like a big game box in like a shop for it. Like this thing went retail.
Oh,
Like it was for Quake 1.
I almost want it.
Yeah, right?
That sounds awful.
It wasn't very good, apparently.
No, it wouldn't
Yeah,
be.
there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's the Ravages of
Ravages of Apocalypse.
of the Apocalypse, yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
I'm sorry.
Nothing has changed about the way that the characters act or move. It's literally just like
literally
different
a
models
reskin.
over. Yeah.
Jeez. That hurts.
And it's
a little bit.
official.
I think the fact that it's official is the part that kicks you the most because someone, like a lot of people, had to say yes, okay. To
You
that.
had to own Quake.
Yeah.
And you had to buy this total conversion.
Ugh, jeez.
And then it's just crazy.
Yeah. Nah. I'm
God,
good.
the 90s were wild.
Woohoo! The 90s.
What a nostalgia trip.
Well, I think we're good. Is
All
that
right.
us? Should we sign off?
Sure.
Okay,
We
Nick,
sort of for the
I
week.
can hear the microwave beep. That
Do you-
means dinner.
Do you need to pee too?
I do.
All right, well, don't cross the streams.
Yeah, that's it. Can't sword
Oh,
fight
I'd
today.
love to see you guys cross streams. That's a bit weird.
Yeah,
It
I
is
was
a bit weird
thinking
for you to say that.
You just
yeah.
made it even worse.
I thought in my mind it was like a bro moment.
Like,
But saying
after
out
the
loud,
amount
it turned
in my
into a
brain,
lot more
I thought-
intimate.
After
In my
the
mind, I
amount
thought it was cute, but
of horrendous shit that I said on Friday night when we were playing Resident Evil
Yeah.
about titties. I feel like you're allowed to have a blunder here or there.
I still maintain it could be a bro moment.
It could be a very specific one.
they have a race to write your name. That's not fair. You've only got 4 letters.
I've only got 4 letters.
Jamie just needs to drink more.
What if? Okay, so you got to write your full name.
Oh,
It's got to be
gee.
Nicholas.
No, but
Can't be
then
Nick.
like I'm way out.
I'll write James.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's only 2 more letters. For me.
All right, we'll sign off.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Signing off. I've been Jamie.
I've been Nick.
I mean, Josh.
Dave's still sick.
I'm still Dave.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you
Bye-bye.
for listening.